Hello folks, I'm Micah with BC Hobbies, and this is the Rapido Trains HO Scale Bud RDC. Built from 1949 to 1962, the Bud Rail Diesel Car, or RDC, was a self-propelled passenger rail car that made it possible to run passenger service to small branch lines not served by regular trains. RDCs could be operated by themselves or linked together into a longer train, making them incredibly versatile and, for short runs, relatively cheap to operate. They saw widespread use in commuter service throughout the United States and Canada for the entire second half of the 20th century, and quite a few are still running today. Although it was first released around 5 years ago, this model is still a great example of Rapido's high standards of detail and accuracy, with numerous road name and number specific details. Even the sounds are different between versions, to reflect the different engines that were installed in the cars at different points in their careers. This particular one represents Canadian Pacific number 9104, which was built in 1956, and it has the correct Detroit Diesel 110 engine sound. The car also has numerous separately applied details. The only downside to this is that it does make it rather delicate, but that's expected for any highly detailed railway model. It has a fully illuminated interior, window shades in various positions, and lots of equipment on the underbody. The only cosmetic flaw I could find was some waviness in the metal roof vents on the right side of the car, but even that isn't too noticeable, and it's probably unique to this particular one. The paintwork is also superb, and the main silver color is a pretty good imitation of the real RDC's bare stainless steel car body. The model is priced at $360 Canadian, and it comes with an ESU lock sound DCC and sound decoder with custom sounds recorded by Rapido from real RDCs. It also has numerous prototypical lighting features which can be controlled using various DCC functions. I won't run through them all here, but there's a full list in the manual. Speaking of the manual, like all of Rapido's documentation, it's packed full of jokes and humor that make it a very entertaining read. I'm certain that Rapido employees have more fun writing their instruction manuals than any other model train company. This model has so many lighting features that they actually ran out of functions on the decoder. As a result, they had to get creative, and turning on and off the interior lights is done in a rather unusual way. The model comes with a little magnetic wand, and there's a reed switch hidden in the roof, right around here. Hold the wand near that spot and it activates the switch and toggles the lights on and off. I expected this to be a bit of a gimmick, but it actually works incredibly well, and it makes for a fun party trick. The model runs very smoothly, as all Rapido locomotives do, but there are two quirks that I'd like to point out. One is that, although the model does have couplers on both ends, the manual specifically states that you shouldn't try to pull anything with it, and that doing so will actually void the warranty. They seem quite concerned that pulling a load could damage the drivetrain. Now, while I seriously doubt Rapido could make a gearbox and motor flimsy enough that trying to pull a few cars would break it, I decided to err on the side of caution and not do my usual pulling power test. According to the manual, the couplers are only to be used if you're running 2 or more of these in a consist where each unit can pull its own weight. This is actually prototypical though, since real RDCs were also not designed to pull unpowered cars, since doing so could overheat their transmissions. The other quirk is not in the manual, but it probably should be. This model does not like 18-inch radius curves very much. Although it can sometimes navigate them if the track is perfectly laid, it rotates the trucks to their absolute limit, and there were a few spots on my layout where the car derailed several times. I did manage to get a few derailment-free laps of the layout out of it, but it definitely wasn't happy about it, and it probably put more strain on the drivetrain than trying to pull a few cars would have. I would consider 22 inches to be the practical minimum radius for this model. The sounds, as I expected, are quite good as well. RDCs use a hydraulic transmission instead of the usual traction motors, and the decoder does a good job of capturing all the various noises they make. If I had to nitpick something, you can't mute the sound without waiting for the engine to go through its whole shutdown sequence, which does take a while, but that's a small quibble, and it does add to the realism. Anyway, I'll stop talking now and let you see the Rapido RDC in action. Well, that about wraps up our review of the Rapido Trains HO Scale Bud RDC. This is a really well put together and very detailed model, and it's by far the best HO RDC on the market, although there are several good ones. I've yet to review a Rapido model that I wasn't impressed with, and I look forward to more in the future. Although this one might not be the best option if your layout has a lot of sharp curves like mine, in every other respect, it's a superb scale model that runs and sounds as good as it looks. To get your RDC, visit us at BC Shaver and Hobbies, soon to be renamed BC Hobbies, or go online to bchobbies.com. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Michael, and I will see you next time.